Today, we're jumping into a foundational story straight from Deuteronomy. It's a wild tale of conquering giants, carving up a brand new kingdom, and a leader who has to face his own personal destiny.
I mean, seriously, how do you do that? It sounds like something out of a fantasy novel, right? But for the ancient Israelites, this was a very real, very big strategic problem. And the answer would literally shape their future.
So to really get this story, you first have to understand who they were up against. This wasn't just some local king. This was Og of Bashan, said to be the last of the Rephaites, a legendary race of giants. He was the final, colossal obstacle standing in their way east of the Jordan.
Okay, so picture this. One king, Sihon, is already defeated. The Israelites turn north, heading up the road to Bashan. And who marches out to meet them? None other than King Og himself, with his entire army. The final showdown is about to go down.
But before a single sword is drawn, Moses gets this message. And I want you to notice the language here. It isn't a promise of future help, like, I'm going to help you. It's a declaration that it's already done. The victory, it seems, has been decided before the battle even starts.
So with that divine green light, the battle begins. And man, it is swift, it's total, and it is absolutely decisive. We're not talking about a long drawn-out campaign here. This was a complete and overwhelming conquest. The sheer scale of this victory is just staggering. Just look at this number, 60. 60 cities captured. And the text is really clear. These weren't just little villages. No, these were fortified cities with high walls, gates, and bars. And they took every single one of them.
And when I say the conquest was total, I mean total. Just like they did with King Sihon's kingdom, they left 0 survivors. The account says every city was completely destroyed, men, women, and children. The only things they took were the livestock and the plunder from the towns.
Now, just to give us a sense of who they actually defeated, the account gives us this incredible little detail. Og's own bed, or maybe his sarcophagus, the translation is a bit debated, was this massive thing, decorated with iron, and it measured over 13 feet long. That's huge! This thing was apparently still around to be seen in the city of Rabbah, serving as this tangible, physical proof of the giant king they had overcome.
So what's the big takeaway from all this fighting? Well, with 2 kings down, the Israelites now control a massive chunk of territory. This slide really lays out the scale of it all. All the towns on the plateau, all of Gilead, and all of Bashan. Their new boundary stretches all the way from the Arnon Gorge in the south to Mount Hermon in the north.
Okay, so winning the war is one thing, but now comes the arguably harder part, the admin. The next big challenge was figuring out how to divide this huge, newly conquered land among the tribes.
So here's how the map got redrawn. The tribes of Reuben and Gad had a ton of livestock, so they got the southern lands, from the Arnon Gorge up through Gilead, which was perfect grazing country. The rest of Gilead, plus all of King Og's old kingdom of Bashan, went to the half-tribe of Manasseh. This move was huge because it established the very first Israelite settlements east of the Jordan River.
But this land came with a major catch, a really critical condition. Moses was crystal clear. You can settle your families, you can settle your livestock here, but your warriors are not done fighting. They have to cross the Jordan, armed for battle, and fight alongside the other tribes. You see, this wasn't just a military strategy, it was a test of their unity as a people. Only after their collective destiny was secured could they finally come back home.
So, the land is won, the borders are drawn, and then the story just pivots. It takes this sharp, incredibly personal turn. The focus shifts away from the nation's victory and zooms in on the fate of its leader, Moses. The story of the people is about to reach its destination, but his story isn't.
You can feel the weight of the moment as Moses turns to his successor, Joshua. He reminds him of the victories they just saw with their own eyes and tells him, don't be afraid, because God will fight for him just like he fought for them. He's passing the torch, encouraging and strengthening the man who has to finish the journey.
And right here, in this moment of transition, Moses makes this personal, really gut-wrenching appeal. After everything, the plagues in Egypt, the Exodus, 40 years in the wilderness, all the battles, he pleads with God for just one thing. Let me cross the river. Let me just see the land I've been leading everyone to for so long.
The response he gets is direct, and it is final. That is enough, God says. Do not speak to me anymore about this matter. The request is denied, the door is slammed shut. Despite leading his people to the very brink of the promised land, he will not go in.
He is given a concession, but wow, is it a bittersweet one. He's told to go to the top of Mount Pisgah. From up there, he'll be allowed to look out, north, south, east, and west, and see the good land with his own eyes. He gets the vision, but he's forbidden from the experience.
And so this whole account, which starts with this incredible military victory, ends on this profoundly personal note of sacrifice. It just leaves us with this question that echoes through the ages, right? A question about leadership and about what it costs to bring other people to a promise that you yourself are destined only to see from a distance.